And welcome back to another episode of Hashtag Randomly with Ronnie Jr. Russell Ray, what's up, man?
Yo, what it do? What it do? What it do?
Oh, wait, are you all dressed up? Like you're giving Psy vibes, maybe?
Sweetie. I'm giving you Cy Hamptons, but I'm giving you a little cover up because we gotta stay classy. But I do have on some very, very flowy pants today. Yes. Okay. They can flow in the wind, change your life.
Listen, okay, there is no stopping this man, Russell Ray Silva. We're going to talk about Real Housewives of New York, episode number 3 of the new era. But only because you got up so darn quick, and there's so many things we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how they called out Jessel for being a little bit mean. There's some people are wearing khaki, but then they want Jenna to be more beautified, which is kind of interesting and maybe not cool, but also with love. There's just a lot going on in this episode. Sai really let the group know a lot about her life and how she's navigated through it, which I love, and I know we want to talk about that. But since Russell decided to get up so quickly, I just off the beginning of the episode, I think it's only appropriate that we let you know if you're joining us today and you're like, okay, cool, they got a good vibe. I will tell you, we always try to give you a good vibe, even when we're mad tired or we don't have time to schedule like the episodes, but like we try our best, right? So you all, the millions of people who love our recap, this was a little bit of what happened last week. Let the craziness begin right now.
Look, I'm wearing a
practically
see-through baby.
She's ready for a close-up. She's ready for a close. Oh, you better.
High waist.
Not that I'm in the gym 7 days a week.
Yeah.
He would do a spin. He would do... Oops.
Okay. When you said New York fashion, I'm gonna do this one more time just so y'all can see it. Hold on. Taking off the earphones.
Look at this. Is his way to make sure he gets the subscriptions on the YouTube, or maybe OnlyFans. Look at you do a little spin over there.
Okay.
If you're not
Oh my god!
What is going on with our recaps? Are we just different in the way we do this, or you at least?
But we give everything. We give everything. Is what we do. We have versatility. Catch it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, girl. Yeah.
We give versatility. We give fashion. We give fun. Okay. We give excitement. We give information. We give enlightenment. We give it all. There's nothing that's off limits, and there's nothing that's off the table.
Yeah. Well, and I should also tell you, in terms of the episodes, I mean, there's so many that I've been putting up, cranking out, mostly a lot of Melissa Gorga content because, we live for Melissa Gorga. But go to both of our channels, Russell and myself. You're watching a recap with Russell and Ronnie because everyone needs a little R&R is kind of the fun marketing behind it. And check out his channel, too, because we work really hard, both of us, on bringing, some really good shows. So we hope you enjoy it. What stuck out to you with this episode? Are you loving the vibe still? I feel like a lot of people really wanted to potentially say, oh, these little arguments, can we withstand a whole season of that? And I got to say, I just think they communicate really well. So I want to know
think they
your
communicate too well because there's no build up. In the other franchises, if they don't communicate, there's things that are hidden swept under the rug that get addressed towards the end of the season, and then it all massively blows up, right? But now we have the Real Housewives of New York, the revamped version, and they're overly communicative, so they tend to squash their issues right off the bat, which is kind of interesting. But there's a few things that stood out to me, and there was a few things that could have just kind of went without. And so one of the things I could have went without is really just the argument of Brynn wanting everything to be equal across the board, about Jen leaving and going and sleeping at her house. Like, it's not that big of a deal. I could have done without that. It wasn't as dramatic as anyone would have hoped it would have been. The few things that I did like about this is that there was a little bit of comfort zone pushing, and I think there was a little bit of healing that might have happened. And you and I did talk about this previously, that it was healing comes and goes in waves. And actually myself, I had a week of healing myself this week. And I think with Jen, when they asked her to wear that outfit, that dress outfit,
Yeah.
It could have been almost healing because she did mention she used to dress like that to impress men when she was dating men.
Yeah.
But I think the girls kind of opened this door for her to segue into, I can dress like this for women as well, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be for a man. And I can feel just as beautiful, or I can feel just as beautiful wearing my sweatshirt and my jeans like I always do. You know, there's elements of beauty. And I showed my outfit at the beginning of the episode. 10 years would have never dressed like this. And now I'm kind of comfortable in this, like, I like the way I feel when I'm in this outfit. I don't care if it's funky or goofy or see-through, or I work hard in the gym. And like, not to say that I have the best body, but I got what I got and it ain't going nowhere and it's mine. So I'm going to dress it up the way I want to. So I think that might have been a little healing.
It is like RuPaul always says, we're all born naked and the rest is drag. So there's a little bit of that too. And, you know, mixing how you feel and how you express your identity is always a thing. And, you know, sometimes we do get into our comfort zone. So yeah, on one end, I almost was like, oh my God, ladies, like let Jenna be how she wants to be and wear what she wants to wear. But, and so for my first inkling was like, oh gosh, they shouldn't really like push up on her like that, because she gets to carry out her version of beauty how she decides. And if that's a button up, that's a button up.
Yeah.
And so at first I was like, don't really, you know, not pressure her. But then another thing is like, it really was like a fun experience, you know. And I think that's the thing too, like, you know, you dress how you dress in the basis of comfort, but sometimes when you're around friends or family, you know, you do get pushed in a really good way because it's a sort of like a comforting and safe space. The beginning of the episode starts off with like them kind of saying, Jenna, you left, and you're right, it didn't jump into like a big argument, which I totally was okay for. But then we got the workout scene, and then we get Brynn coming back. You stated that last episode you missed Brynn a little bit, probably a little bit more than me. I do like Brynn quite a bit, but from watching last season and the season before, like anything that's too much sometimes gives me Leah vibes, and by no means is Brynn Leah. I mean, this is just Brynn is an icon, you know, in the making. Leah was not ever, unfortunately. She could have been. Maybe she was with the wrong cast. Anyways, I was interested in Brynn, but I don't know that I got so excited about her over the topness. Did you like seeing her right away and flirting with the guy?
Here's the thing. Yes, I'm gonna say yes. Here's the thing. I feel like Brynn has superstar power. I do. I feel like she has the it factor to be way bigger than the show. I do. And I feel like she might be limiting herself a little bit by playing different cards, and she's kind of feeling her way out of where she fits in on the show. But I feel like Brynn, I haven't seen this in a long time, I feel like Brynn has the potential to spin off and have her own brand and really just blow up and make something big of herself, because she has that. She has the wit, she has to go with the flow. There's a lot of easiness when it comes to her and how she is as an individual, and it's really authentic to herself, and she knows who she is. She's just trying to find her space within these ladies on the show. But again, I feel like she's larger than this, and that there's bigger opportunity waiting for her, and that she's going to make something for her happen, whether it's fashion wise. I don't know. I see her gracing the covers of magazines. I feel there's something bigger within her that's coming her way.
She's certainly a showstopper, I could tell you that. And while I said a couple things of like, oh, I don't know that I'm all the way like loving on her, like I feel like I like her 80% of the time, but there is a too much factor maybe that's coming through, and not too much like I don't mind somebody living like big. I love that all the time, but you know, kind of like, okay, at what point is it a gimmick, and at what point is it you? But then again, it is fun reality TV. But what I think she should do, Russell, I think she should do is she should listen to two very wise podcasters who have experience hosting television. By the way, that would be us, because these other podcasters don't have the, you know, what we have. But I think she should listen to us, because while she's running around and she's dating this one and that one, and we live for, you know, the empowerment of that. The bigger question is, well, here's the question, and then here's the answer. My question to you, Russell, and you don't have to answer now, maybe in the comments. Brynn is flirty, right? Yes. So who do you think, and on Watch What Happens Live, when she did her initial episode with everybody, they were like, who of the Bravo celebrities would you want to be potentially like see? She said Shep, which I was a little like, ooh. But nonetheless, that's her truth. Who do you think Brynn, it doesn't have to be a Bravo celebrity, just somebody that we know. Who do you think Brynn would be really good to date?
Oh my gosh, Maluma.
Wow, that came up so quickly. And reason being because of just the vibrancy that they both have?
Yes.
Okay.
The confidence that he exudes and the comfortability of who he is as an individual and the way that he projects his sexuality, including not being ashamed to have a feminine side.
Yeah, he's out there. He's like, let's go. Well, you know, the
same way.
The man's got a piece. I mean, he's you know, the tripod of it all. It's just like, you know, if you're rolling like that where you can't even walk down the street without, you know, starting to like, you know, you're on the right side of the street because that big old piece is just, you know, pushing you to the left side of the street. You're just gonna be like, I'm gonna do what I want to do. I like that. I really like Brynn and Maluma. Wow, that could be a thing.
Look at how good, but look at how good they look together.
What? Yeah, I mean, that was the question we asked on last episode, and I think it's like we're loving this flirty, of course, and I don't know, maybe in current time, which I don't think she has a boyfriend or whatever, or seeing someone more seriously, but I think that's what the viewers are going to want. It's like, we're going to be invested in this journey. We're going to kind of want a little bit of a payoff. And yes, them two together, you know, let's make a baby.
I said she has superstar power. She can match him. I feel very, very, very well. They would be such a power couple. They would be like Cristiano Ronaldo and his wife. Like on that level, but in the music industry. Oh, and I feel like she can hold her own. Like, she doesn't need anything that he can provide. They would just complement each other.
I don't know why all my and we're gonna get to Brynn and how we think she, you know, with her little like, oh well, you said this to Jenna and it's a double standard because we were like, Brynn, no, Brynn, no, Brynn, no. But on the good note, the thing is, like, I don't know what it is about her that all my examples of what I love about Brynn aren't even of today. It's like she came out of a book from yesteryear, you know, like the early 2000s. What did we say on last week's episode? She almost gives like when all the girls were like in Maxim, you know, and that was like a whole scene. She was of that era. But you know what else she gives me? She gives me the girls that used to date like Derek Jeter when Derek Jeter was
okay. I can see that. I can see
like that. You know, like when it was like, and this is no like diss to anybody, but it was like, oh, Vanessa Manillo was like this big TV star on MTV, but then it was like, she's the one that dated Derek Jeter, right? I mean, everybody dated Derek Jeter, but you know what I'm saying? It's like she has this element of like, yes, she's just on a reality TV show. But if Derek Jeter had the Yankee uniform on today, she would be right there with Derek Jeter of that era. I hope I don't sound crazy.
You don't sound crazy.
But I don't sound right either.
So funny. Well, I mean, you're not wrong either.
I think Brynn would agree with us. And I know, like, you know, in terms of our Instagrams or whatnot, she's been like, you know, following and supporting. But I think she needs to sit down and watch an entire episode because we give it very authentically, I think. I don't know.
She really is giving me Cameron Diaz, like early Cameron Diaz vibes where she was in The Mask and I swear to you, Brynn just needs to tap into that superstar power. Like, she has the it factor. And I feel like she will just take off like a rocket. Reach out to Maluma. Maluma?
You think?
Cousin. Call Brynn. I promise you will be the next power couple. It will be all over.
Well, did you just call her a superstar? Because I got to tell you who else is a superstar. And we're going to get to the next scene in a second. You know, randomly, Ronnie Jr. was the star of the Sunday episode of Watch What Happens Live. And, you know, we just don't like to live it down. I think we even have, you know, half of a clip. We don't got to play the whole thing. But check me out in action talking to Candy, the icon that's worldwide, and Aaron on the Sunday episode of Watch What Happens Live.
Yeah, like it's nothing for us to beef about.
Okay. Here's Ronnie, also from LA, with a question for Aaron.
Hi.
What's up, Andy? Candy, you are worldwide, just letting everybody know.
Yeah, she knows.
Quick question for Aaron. Loving the season. Why do you think Brynn said on Watch What Happens Live that you couldn't be trusted? And where do you stand with her today?
I think she said that because of Cheesegate, because she felt like I was being disingenuous about the conversation, which I wasn't. It will all play out. We love each other, but we butt heads.
Oh, that was just a clip. You know, it could go on and on. But anyways, that was really fun. And I got to say, it's nice to get the little response. So we do have a little, I know I've said it once, but love seeing you on Watch What Happens Live, to which we say, thank you, because it was fun to be part of this. Okay, so let's get right into Brynn, the double standard. You know, I have to be biased towards Aaron because, you know, we did the Watch What Happens Live together, basically. No, but
before you go there, I'm so excited that you like kicked open the gate and got her at the front end of all of this.
Oh yes,
because
yes.
like boom, you were like boom, front of line, you made it.
Yeah, and of course I'm already Instagramming and DMing with, you know, her and Abraham, the husband, you know, because Abraham is the real party, if you ask me. But that is just my hormones talking.
You have a very like, there's just something about you where people respond to you. I can reach out to everybody DM and they will not respond to me, but randomly Ronnie reaches out to 5 people and at least 4 of them will respond. And I'm like, yo,
well,
I think you're just being, not a single person has got back to me.
I think you're just being kind. You're the one on our show that is over here doing twists and turns and dipping and doing, but yes, thank you. I just, so to me, like, yes, I wonder, like, oh, do I have a bias because it was really fun doing that little program with her? But no, I think it is. And I said it before, I love the stoic, the New Yorker, like, just, you know, give it up exactly. You know, here it is. This is what it is. And it really is kind of the truth. It's like when Brynn tried to calculate all that, I mean, I guess because we saw it on the TV, but it did make my mind also say, wait, these are kind of 2 different situations. And what I mean by that is, like, if you're my people, I'm going to make more exceptions to you. So if I don't really get down with you, Brynn, this scenario does not match. You know, it would be like as if, you know, we do our recaps week after week after week. We did Miami, we did New Jersey, now we're doing New York. And then Russell and myself, we have tons of colleagues that we both know, you know, friends that we both know. But like, if I don't like rock with them all the time, that person doesn't get to come to the front of the line and be equal to like the bond that we have built. You know what I mean? So like Jenna building a bond with Aaron, I just thought, while it sounded so rude on the TV, but I didn't feel it was rude. Aaron said, well, maybe I just like her better. I was like, Aaron, you know, you're silent, but you go there. And I don't know. I loved it. I mean, and Brynn had nowhere to go, really, unfortunately,
but that's
for
also
her.
the New York element of an individual. They're just going to shut you down if they need to. And that's kind of where that was at.
Yeah.
You know, and like, that's the thing. Like, again, like I said, Brynn is still trying to find her place within the group. Of like, how do I fit in? And we all go through that of like, how do I fit in? I experienced that the other night when I went out on Friday. I'm like, where do I fit in this group? And I actually connected very well with 2 of the people. One is the one I actually met who invited me to go out. The other one I actually met midway through the night and who ended up being at this person's house from the gym. So again, I was like, where do I fit in this situation? Like, what's my role? And I feel like Brynn is still trying to get there. And so comparing apples and oranges, she was really trying to like, I get what she was trying to make happen of like, this is a scenario I feel similar to what happened with me, but you're not ridiculing her like you ridiculed me. So we're just going to put a pin in that. So as far as we go with that, I do want to talk about their 2 truths and a lie. And Brynn and her reverse cowgirl on every situation. I'm like,
right.
So just pretty much take out the reverse cowgirl and just say which one of these is true or false. And
yeah, but see, maybe that's what we were talking about in terms of her putting on too much. Like a lot of this va va voom, which we love, is her naturally. But when you like put extras on it, it's like you're gonna give that so many other spaces. Like, you know, you're flirting with the trainer. Like, we don't need to be further sold on all of that. No one was talking about that. You were just supposed to give 2 truths and a lie. One of them could have been reverse cowgirl. We love to see it. But it doesn't necessarily mean you have to push that in Okay, I can't even speak anymore. Let's go to the let's go to the comments here. I love Aaron and Jenna. Oh, good. Those are two of my favorites also. I'm not feeling the others are being genuine. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that's
Oh,
interesting. So, I mean,
I'm curious to
Side
know
to me
why
seems
you
very
feel that way,
genuine,
Gene.
but we'll get to it. I feel like they are acting for the cameras. Well, and that's the thing. Like, even though we're kind of saying a lot in terms of Brynn, I mean, it is a show, and you do got to turn up a little bit. But
I will say from firsthand experience, there's this pressure to over deliver when you're in front of the camera for the first time and you're actually one of the main characters. So when I was filming for Peacock, this is why you have directors, this is why you have executive producers, this is why you have everybody who works behind the scenes to guide you into your comfortable space on camera. And sometimes you hit the gate, you head out the gate running, and you kind of overcompensate a little bit, and then it all starts to naturally flow. And so I will say from personal experience, I did overcompensate when I first started filming for Create the Escape. And luckily, Suicide was a great executive producer and really got me to a place where I was comfortable. Because every project is new that you do. And I had been in front of the camera before, but you're in a different element. You're dealing with different dynamics of a show. And so you're trying to figure out, how can I give my all, but not overly give to where it just doesn't make sense. So if they're overacting, I still feel it's because it's new. There's pressure of this being on for so long, and now they revamped it. And so they have to surpass the original cast and make this revamp worth it. So again, they're still trying to find their place. Eventually, everything will come naturally and things will calm down and the waters will kind of smooth when it comes to them and their portrayal on camera. And they'll get to a comfortable space where they could just be genuine, like Vanderpump and that cast. They're all very natural on it now. Yes, there's big blowups and there's big fights. However, the cameras have been in their face for so long that they can naturally just make things happen. And it's very authentic and genuine. So it takes time. We'll see about the 5th or 6th episode.
I 100% agree with that because, many TV experiences I've done as well as digital and all the other stuff and tons of radio. But like, I remember one show in specific, it was Roxy and Chiquis, which Chiquis, the late Jenny Rivera's daughter. They had a show and I was on one of the episodes, but like I had been on Fuse TV prior, but that was like a little bit more with the formula. This one was more like you walk up to the door, you go knock on the door, and you say hello to the girl. Now the girl, Roxy, which was a friend of mine from radio, she knew exactly what she was doing. But for me, I remember being like, I didn't fit, like watching it back. I'm like, it just didn't seem as authentic as I would want to be. Not that I wasn't authentic, but I remember being like, oh my God, am I not giving enough? Like, and then you end up giving too much and you're like, that's not how I would say hello. Like, and so it is a little bit of a navigation that they're all doing. In terms of the question, genuine, I think that's a great question that that has just been presented, because that is something that could be taken to the comments in terms of like, who do we think is genuine and who is actually like putting on for the cameras. I gotta say, Jessel to me is like such wonderful TV. And I know people are like, oh, she's the more boring one, but I think she is like not putting on for the cameras. I think
not
she
with
is
that 2 Truths and a Lie.
Yes.
I was like,
but see, I think she's like, because it's so easy to be like, oh, I'm gonna be the Sonia, I'm gonna be the nutty one or whatever. I think Jessel is just this odd human being. I really like her. I do.
I was.
Do you want to do
I was
in this
so
episode?
surprised to hear her little freaky deakiness when it came to the 2 Truths and a Lie. I was cooking breakfast when I was watching this because I went out last night, so I got up a little late. So I'm like cooking and I'm listening to the episode. Right, I hear the whole thing with the popsicle, and I said, whose mouth did this come out of? Because I'm still trying to. I know several voices, like who is who. But I don't know everyone's voices, right? And I snapped my neck so fast. And I was so surprised to see it was Jessel.
Yeah, I mean, she's going to be an interesting watch. The stuff with her husband is going to be interesting. And part of it is just like kind of interesting that like last episode, she mentions, hey, I haven't had sex with my husband since the kids. And there's just something that I don't think she is overly crafting her image, which I think is a fun thing in terms of watching. Anyways, I think we got one more little comment here. Oh, we're gonna really have to read this. I really thought I wouldn't like Real Housewives of New York reboot, but I'm really enjoying it. I think it was smart, a smart move by Bravo to what is it? Oh, to premiere around Crappy Lake 1 week before. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like the show and Bravo, they've done it where you can have the best of both worlds. You know what I mean? So if you like the old school, Luann and Sonia, and of course Ultimate Girls Trip will come too. Did I ever get your opinion on? Do you like the cast that's going to be on the Ultimate Girls Trip? You're not into some of them, huh? The past cast, right?
No, not really.
Oh, okay. See, I was going to go
Not
on
that
and
I,
on.
not that
I was going to go on and
dislike
on.
them. Again, we're going into a new generation of fans, and we're going into a new generation of Bravo. And so, yes, they still have to cater to the older generation of Bravo. Not that they're very old; they're my mom's age. But we're in this new era where you have to cater to, millennials.
Yeah.
On Housewives, because millennials are what's watching Housewives. Like, and I know you say you love
Oh, I love Dorinda, the way she dresses. Give me the regal, give me the Dorinda, give me a story like Sonia talking about John. Like I'm all about old school stuff, but I feel like the network this is a great example that the network can kind of be really smart in terms of like we always got to fill content these days, especially now that there's a network and there's streaming on Peacock streaming platform. So they really can make these adjustments. And let's say you had said last week's episode, maybe one day Jersey's gonna have to revamp, and it's like, I mean, that would of course be a for Melissa and Dolores or whatever, but it's like you can still do stuff with them on the other streaming platform. And while you're on Peacock streaming, you can watch Russell Ray right here on Create the Escape, a show that he was the design expert and host, collaboratively. And it was it's right there on the platform. So why not support it?
Or if you just want to keep your kids occupied and you want them out of your hair, send them that way.
Okay, so look at
that way and be like, go watch Russell Ray on the television.
Right. So we do it all. We could do the Housewives commentary, but then also like the wholesome stuff. I love it. So okay, real quick. They have the real funny moment with trying to the gasoline what is it called? Fire pit. Funny.
Oh my gosh.
But
that whole situation.
That whole situation, yeah. But the biggest thing that we got mostly from that, and I don't think the episode really packed a punch, although we on this episode, our recap, we're gonna do our own version of Two Truths and a Lie, but they're not gonna be I don't know what you're gonna do. Mine aren't gonna be nasty. Mine are gonna be career aspirational, just so you know, because I believe in manifestation and boom. But before we do that, so I think a lot of people really did connect with Sai, kind of explaining, just everywhere that she had been and what she did and how she navigated and what I loved, and I'll turn it over to you in a second. What I loved the most, Russell, was that she, I don't know what she said specifically, or is this how I took it, but it was like, I daydreamed. Oh my God, I get like, I feel it, because I feel like on times where I'm like, nothing is working. Where's the money? Oh man, if I see another my bank saying below $50, I'm gonna have to yell at somebody. But within all of that, especially when you value and know yourself and you know what you bring to the table, and you are beautiful like me and like Sai, and I don't know if this is what she was meaning, but like, what'd she say? I would daydream. Like she would visually see getting on the other side of of whatever the problem was. And I remember having a conversation within this last week with a friend having drinks, and it's like, there's just so many different ways to do it. Like go more practical, give up on certain dreams or whatever. And then like, I don't want to say that I got in my arrogant phase, but kind of like what Sai was saying, I was like, I see it. So I literally said this this week. I was like, I see it so vividly happening. So to give up now would suck ass, And so like, I don't know if that's what she was trying to present, but that's how I took it. What was your take on what I just said and Sai's conversation in general?
When I was listening to Sai's conversation, I actually thought about Mariah Carey in this moment. because Mariah had mentioned that she became a songwriter to compensate in the way that she was feeling and just to find her space and to really explain what she was going through and when she was coming up and the things that she faced and her just being ambiguous and not knowing where she fit in the community in such like rough times. And I really thought that Sai, as a social media influencer, almost does the exact same thing. She's really showing people that things are possible. You can do things, you can find an avenue and you can thrive in it. And I feel like she is thriving as a social media influencer. Like I said, my friend Marsha has been following her for over 2 years. And she was actually the one who kind of brought it up like, hey, did you know that this girl I'm following and I've sent you multiple times is actually going to be on the Real Housewives of New York, knowing that you and I go through housewife recaps. So I think it's amazing that she was actually able to make it to where she's at today, having started to provide for herself at the age of 16 and have her own apartment and have to pay rent. We're in this day and age where there's so many people who, I need to choose my words wisely right now, but there's so many individuals who are entitled and whom feel that their family should pay for things. And if they don't, it's the world is ending for them. And it goes back to, well, where's your drive and motivation? You have to build for yourself. But then again, there's an element of these social media influencers who've found an avenue that works for them and they're really thriving. Like Anna Sitar, who Shane and I actually met going to Hawaii when she was first starting out. And oh my goodness, she's blown up completely because her thing was Another Day, Another Starbies. And that just took off. Daily Mail started covering her. E! News started covering her. So I think it's nice and it's humbling to see that not all the housewives started off as rich or even just middle class. You know, Sai started off as almost lower middle class. She said her mom was renting a room in an apartment in New York, in Brooklyn. So just think about that, right? You have a child, you know, life sometimes hits you harder than you expect. And now Sai has, you know, her beautiful life and her beautiful family. And it's really showing that you can come full circle and you'll be okay as long as you believe in yourself.
I also think that she has worked through, I mean, can't speak for anybody, but it sounds like the way she was explaining it to the other gals was like she kind of worked through a lot of that stuff. Not a lot of like, actually none, although very trying times. None of it felt resentful or like, you know, just like it was almost like the pain has already been, at least with this group of friends, she didn't really present any of it. And a lot of times when you talk about those stories, you usually kind of go back to the negative and like, you know, like almost want to show off because you like made it out of that. She didn't really do that. She just presented like the information. And I also think she's really great. Her confessionals have been really, really wonderful. I didn't know what we were going to get with her, but I'm glad it was being shared. She didn't necessarily worry about what anyone else thought. You know, I think some of the girls who actually grew up with a whole different, you know, a golden spoon, they almost didn't, but they almost didn't know how to relate to her, but they also didn't not try. So all of it really worked out. You know, it's not an easy thing to talk about your experiences when one has, you know, this huge experience and then one has a completely different journey. I'm just really glad and proud for her that she, you know, came out on the other side and is so vibrant and wonderful. And, you know, especially in the vein of like being a social media influencer, you know, I said it on last week's episode, Bravo has hired other social media influencers who are as boring as, you know, dry to paint. And Sai is not that, you know, and I'm speaking of Paige DeSorbo, who has stunk up Summer House for mad seasons. It's just, it's impossible. It's crazy. And I worry like, oh, social media influencer, you're not going to also have something to say. Luckily, our girl Sai has something to say. Okay.
She does. Here's another thing too that I want to make a point. I like the fact that Erin was humbled quickly when she said the Dollar Tree or dollar stores can be fun. And Sai was like, no, it's not. It's not. Not when everything that you had growing up was from a dollar store. And that was really a point of perspective for Erin. I'm not saying Erin's a bad person. I'm not saying that she did it intentionally or with malice. But it was just a humbling moment to think not everybody in New York. Yes, New York is the place. If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. They've always said that. So, but again, like people still have a journey and people still have a story, and not everyone has had it easy. And so sometimes the Dollar Tree, and when you learn of what the dollar store is, you can learn to take pieces and elements of a dollar store, even as you become more successful, and say, no, I'm going to get this here. Like, for example, for the cups with the built-in straws for Aaron's children, I'm going to get these here because the kids are going to destroy them anyway. So why am I going to go to CB2 or West Elm and get something that they make for kids when that's not realistic? Children aren't going to take care of things. You have to teach them how to take care of things. So it was good perspective for Aaron to think, oh, you know what? I didn't really think about that. Like, there are people who actually live on dollar stores, and it's this whole marketing tactic that the dollar stores use, as it's affordable enough. It might not actually be the best price in the market, but it's affordable enough to where you can make all of your purchases at this one store, and it deters you from driving to another store because that's more gas money. It's more time. You might get sucked into buying other things. And so they make it convenient of you can get everything here in one place. And in reality, sometimes that stuff is more expensive. But again, it was a nice point of perspective for Aaron. And it was a good point of perspective from a viewpoint of an audience, that there are people out there in the world who are still living from the dollar store. And that's how they're making it through life right now. And there's people who can't actually afford to eat healthy, so they go to the drive-through McDonald's, because you can get something off the dollar menu versus buying 1 pound of apples, which is one apple, at $1.25 a pound. Things.
No,
perspective.
It's very true. But I mean, it wasn't in a way that like Sai was like, making anyone feel uncomfortable. Not that she had every right to, but like I'm saying, she was like just giving what it was. And also, like, I don't think it was a space where like Aaron or anyone else who had a different life, where they necessarily didn't feel uncomfortable. I think it was the beauty of New Yorkers who are around all walks of life and just connect in that way. That's how I saw it. Now, of course, yes, there was some humbling that, when you hear that story and you think, oh, let me try to connect with Sai, and I'm like, really, maybe not getting it. But I think it was the beauty of the connection that is a New Yorker. There's all walks of life. You get on the train, you walk in the neighborhoods, and everyone is different. So I thought that was really wonderful. But yeah, no, not everyone really gets it. I've heard people talk about, in terms of when I started working in radio, and I was like, I was coming from not a lot to begin with. And some people would say stuff that was like an obvious. And I'm like, that's not an obvious. That is, you may have to not take that for granted, because there were certain things that people would have that, would be different within their journey. Okay, real quick, I want to do, because we're going to end the show a little bit. We got 2 questions, and maybe we will try to get to those. And then we're going to do, here we go real quick. Do you know about, that would be Lizzie, how long she filmed? We'll talk about that in a second. And I agree about Paige, of course, because Paige, turn the page. She's not very interesting. Okay. But I love Summer House, and I love Lindsay. Okay, side topic. Russell, let's wrap up our final thoughts in a second. So anything that comes up, please say it. Okay. And then we're going to do our 2 truths and a lie. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to wait. Hold on. We have a break, and then we'll come back, and then we'll talk about 2 truths and a lie for us.
Well, hello there. Thank you for watching and supporting the show with my good friend, Randomly Ronnie Jr. Who the hell am I? Great question. My name is Mark Rodriguez with Mastermind Media, and I wanted to take just a moment of your time to let you know about all the other incredible things this guy, Randomly Ronnie Jr. has going on. But first, before we get into that, please comment, like, and subscribe. That is how he grows here on these channels. But one channel you probably don't know about is patreon.com/randomly Ronnie Jr., where he's got a bunch more exclusive content. So please check that out. But speaking of YouTube, let's go back to YouTube for a second. He's got this hashtag randomly with Ronnie Jr., and it shows all of his stuff in his days in radio from back in the day, all the way up to present day, and his new interviews, podcasts, just videos across the board. So please check that out, because when you think about content creators, there's millions of content creators, but there's only one, Randomly Ronnie Jr. Let's get back into the show.
There's only one. And
That's
by the
so
way,
good.
there's only one Russell Ray Silva. Check out his channel as well, because he's not just on Peacock streaming with the Create the Escape. He also has his YouTube channel, and he is equally making it happen. To the questions, yeah, I believe the girl Lizzie did like maybe 2 to 3 weeks. I didn't really follow it. I didn't really follow the dramatic story that was behind it. You know, I feel like sometimes Housewives, so many things get leaked and it gets real like Potomac and the new fight that had happened. I just feel like sometimes I like to see the show that comes on the television. I don't need to go on the deep dive on TikTok to see it all sometimes. And I just hope that everyone is happy, moving on, et cetera, et cetera. If anyone needs to be reprimanded, well, we'll hope that they get reprimanded. That's all I got on that. And okay, so do you want to do your, we got to wrap up real soon. We got about 5 more minutes. Do you want to do your 2 truths and a lie? And do you have any last thoughts on the episode in general?
No, I think we're off to a great start. I think there's a lot more. Let me be clear about this. A lot more that we can learn and a lot more that we can get from the show. But again, we're in the beginning phases. They're still getting comfortable being in front of the camera, because when it's not in your control is a whole other ball game versus if you're filming yourself or if you're taking pictures of yourself. All of that is in your control. So I hopefully we'll get some more authenticity and natural. And hopefully it'll become more natural through the next few episodes. And hopefully by episode 5, it starts to balance out.
Yeah. I mean, for me personally, I haven't felt like it was boring in any way. You know, I know there's like a notion that it's got to have some big blow up or whatever. I sometimes just like watching the human experience on a reality show. I'm pretty okay with that. You know, but we'll see. We'll see. And they are all trying to find themselves for sure, because a lot of them know, like, you know, after Bethany Frankel, you know, made millions off, you know, and, you know, creates a new life for yourself. Sometimes people do come on the show with a little bit of an agenda. So it's all natural. So far, so good, in my opinion. But let's do our 2 truths and a lie. Oh, last question for you. Last episode, you said you really loved Uba. She wasn't in it a lot, but are you still feeling her? Because I really like her too.
I'm still feeling her.
Yeah, she's great.
Love her. She's great.
Do you want to do yours first, or shall I do mine?
You do yours first.
Okay. So I don't know what Russell's going to do. He might be doing the reverse cowgirl on all of his 2 truths and a lie. I chose to hold out on that because usually I am a little more nasty, but I'm not going to be nasty today. The hormones are intact today, at least. And I'm not going to do that. But I decided for my 2 truths, I can't say it. For my 2 truths and a lie, mine are going to be, and this is in the vein of the cast did it today on Real Housewives of New York, episode 3. Mine are going to be in the vein of career stuff, because you know why? Manifestation is important. And what we were saying about Sai and speaking and saying, well, I always daydreamed like it would get better. I think it's important to kind of call out the things that you want to happen. So my 2 truths and a lie are going to be very career oriented. Okay. Are we ready? So how do I play the game, Russell? What do I do?
2 truths, 1 lie. You tell me all 3, and then I guess which one is the lie.
Okay. So I should have double checked how to play the game. Okay. So, I have been on stage at Radio City Music Hall in New York City.
Okay.
Jennifer Lopez's management did reach out to me for an interview. My name has been splashed across the marquee at Madison Square Garden.
So it's either 1 or 3.
So wait, what are you identifying? The truth or the lie? Oh, the lie. Okay, so you're saying 1 is maybe a lie?
1 is maybe a lie, or 3 is maybe a lie, because it's very 100% something that can happen to you. But I don't know if you would lie about J-Lo's management reaching out to you. I don't know that.
And we're pretty good friends, and we talk about a lot of stuff. But there's many experiences, you know, I've had long ago. I am no spring chicken. Okay. All right. Are you ready? So
no. I feel like, hold on.
Well, we only got a little bit of time.
I feel like your name splashed across the marquee in Madison Square Gardens is the lie.
That is not a lie.
Which one is it? It better not be J-Lo because I'm
wait.
mad at you.
We also got to flex because again, this is a manifestation. This is to let the lowbrow people know. Randomly, Ronnie Jr. has done some stuff. So when I did Fuse Television, they were associated with. I don't know if they are now. I mean, Fuse TV is. But at the time in 2005, they were attached with Madison Square Garden, like network or whatever. So like they did like the Knicks game. The New York Knicks. Sports stuff. I don't really know.
Yeah.
But they had an association. I could tell you that. See, I'm trying to like figure it out, but I don't really know. But I remember they had an association. So the studio where Fuse was literally across the street from Madison Square Garden. So because of it, they had a beautiful shot that panned that marquee, and they decided when we were doing the show that I was a finalist. I was, of course, the runner-up. Should have been first place, but whatever. And so both of our names, and it said, "Who do you want to vote for?" Him, it was a friend of mine, Adonis, or randomly Ronnie. Technically, it just said Ronnie, but the branding should have said randomly Ronnie. Yeah, so my name had been on Madison Square Garden, and the other one is when I worked at America's Got Talent, we 1,000%, 155 times. Were on the stage at Radio City Music Hall in New York City. The lie is that no, unfortunately, Benny Medina, what the heck? Y'all have not reached out to me for that classic J-Lo interview.
I was giving you the benefit of the doubt, hoping that you would not lie about that. That's
I know. I didn't like the way you
sounded so realistic that I'm like, one of those ones has to be the lie because
I did not like
so truthful, and that is something that would happen to you. So I'm like, I'm just hoping that you're not lying about Jennifer. Jen, now you know who you could call.
I know. I really hated the way you worded it during that time because I was like, oh no, he's making it sound like, would I dare lie about my J-Lo? And it really wasn't about that. It was like I was going to present two really cool things, and let me present something I want to manifest. And by the way, Jen, Linda Lopez, Benny Medina, everybody. I'm ready. I'm ready for the J-Lo interview. Anyways, go ahead, Russell. What are your two truths and a lie?
I recently won some money on Powerball. I was engaged 4 years ago and I did not know it. And
wait, say that one again.
I was engaged 4 years ago and I didn't know it, didn't realize it. And I recently secretly got married and only my family knows about it.
What kind of double marriage engagement is going on? Okay. So it's believable. Oh, real quick before we finish, I do think that it's important to put, I think this is about the segment. I really love this and you both. So thank you. And I think it's saying love the segment, which is funny because Russell knows I don't like segments or games usually, but this is fun. Okay. And we literally only have, let me look, we have like 3 minutes left. I feel like you were able to win money on some level. And so the Powerball, whatever, like on some level, I think that's true. I think there's a way in a weird aspect of life that you could be engaged and not know it, but I don't think you're married today. So your lie is the third one, maybe?
That I secretly recently got married?
Yeah, because yeah.
Yeah, that's a lie.
I was like, and why? I've got nothing. What made you
trying to make them all very outlandish to be like, oh, what? Yes, apparently I was engaged and I don't remember anybody getting down on a knee. And so it was great. It was great. It was great. Everything was great about that. But I was like, oh, okay. All right. That's what this is. Cute. Okay. No, but in all good fun, like we're friends, everything is good. And we always kind of look back at that moment and like, was it really though? You know.
Wow. But wait, we want to know how much money did you win in the Powerball? What is it called? The Powerball? What did you win any money?
Fortunately,
because that was a truth, right?
Yes, unfortunately, we're 10 seconds in. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and I can't. We got to end the show.
Okay, I don't know
We
what's
gotta end the
going
show,
on.
so I can't give you all that information. I'm sorry.
Okay, so this is the cast, episode 3. We hope you enjoyed it. We have fun doing it all the time, and yeah, that's it. I think the 2 truths and a lie were maybe more difficult than we expected because I had a hard time with it, and it was so hard to answer the question either. I was like, I don't know, but I don't think this fool is married. Like, I don't think so. Like,
No, if I would have secretly got married, you would have known, or you would have been present.
yeah, I would have like heard of a like a little note or something. I mean, that's at least text message worthy, if not a
I would
phone
have been
call.
like, yo, Ronnie, here's the thing. We're gonna have a small elopement. We're gonna have a dinner. Don't tell nobody. It's
Yeah.
still kind of like under wraps. So it's gonna be
Yeah,
you,
you
my
would
family,
don't put it on social media.
Roberto,
Yeah,
Marsha. Nobody posts about it, but like
Right,
we're about
right.
to get married, so everybody just come through. That's how it would have been.
Well, I don't know what the hearts are for, but hopefully we did a good job recapping the show. And of course, as I always say, we are done now here. Well, one thing I say is I am, of course, the star of the Sunday show on Watch What Happens Live with Candy and Aaron 2 Sundays ago. I always say that. But also, to go check out our programs because there's so many different pieces of content up there, both on my channel and also on Russell's channel as well. Cool. I guess that's it for now, huh? Do you have any last words? Do you have any last style words since you're like the Sai of the recap here? Because look,
I absolutely do.
He's giving fashion today.
I absolutely do. Look, don't be afraid to accentuate who you are individually. Your creativity changes every day. Your mood and how you want to be present also changes every day. So, every now and then go into your closet and have a fun day. And like Beyonce said, put on your freakum dress. But that doesn't mean that you got to put on a freakum dress. Just put on something that makes you feel good, makes you feel bright and light and airy. And I felt like this outfit was very that. It made me feel light and airy, even though we have a bold color, but we have a see-through top. And then we also have breezy pants. So easy, breezy, beautiful Russell Ray.
Well, I'm going to focus on that. Yes, indeed, I am the star of the Watch What Happens Live Sunday episode with Candy.
Yes.
I just keep saying it, and I'm like, it's not. I don't know if it's catching on. I'm just having fun. We're going to end the episode though with one video that we've seen from the beginning, but you know what? We're welcome to watch it again.
Look, I'm wearing a practically
wants
see-through baby.
She's ready for a close-up. She's ready for a close. Oh, you better.
The high waist.
Not that I'm
High
in the gym 7 days a week.
Yeah.
He would do a spin. He would do... Oops.
Okay. When you said New York fashion, I'm gonna do this one more time just so y'all can see it. Hold on. Taking off the earphones.
Look at this is his way to make sure he gets the subscriptions on the YouTube, or maybe OnlyFans. Look at you do a little spin over there.
Okay.
Oh my goodness gracious! That is the end of the show.
And tired last week.
We did that episode. I think I was like really, really late. I think it was like 1 a.m. on East Coast time. Yeah. Anyways, celebrating the show, Real Housewives of New York, such a fun one. We will talk on the next one. All right, till next time.
Till then.
Hey, Ronnie Jr.